The UN's Defiance moved through the dark space between stars like a metal whale swimming through an endless ocean. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge, watching the stars through the big front window. The ship was huge, almost 2 miles long, carrying 847 people to a new world far from Earth. "Captain, we're getting close to the target area," said Lisa Carter, the chief engineer. She was a small woman with dark hair and smart eyes that never missed anything. Her fingers moved fast over the control panels, checking every system on the ship. Jake nodded and looked at the main screen. They had been traveling for 3 years to reach this place at the edge of their galaxy. Earth wanted them to start a new colony here, far from home. It was dangerous work, but someone had to do it. "Dr. Murphy, what can you tell us about this area?" Jake asked the science officer. Dr. Alex Murphy was a tall man with gray hair and thick glasses. He loved studying new things more than anything else. "The readings are strange, Captain. There's something out there, something big, but it's not like anything we've seen before." Lisa checked her instruments again. "All systems are running perfectly, Captain. The engines are strong, life support is good, and we have enough fuel for 2 more years. Jake felt good about his crew. They were the best Earth had to offer. Ben Hayes ran the communications, keeping them connected to Earth when possible. Sam Collins worked with Lisa on the engines, making sure everything ran smoothly. Kate Brown handled navigation, plotting their course through the dangerous areas of space. "Captain, look at this," Dr. Murphy said, his voice excited. He pointed to the screen where something appeared in the distance. It was not a planet or a star. It was something else. The thing they saw was made of crystal and metal, stretching across space for thousands of miles. It looked like a giant web or net, but it sparkled with strange lights. Parts of it moved slowly, like it was alive. "What is that thing?" Jake asked. "I don't know," Dr. Murphy said, "but it's sending out signals, lots of them. The patterns are complex, like a language." Lisa frowned at her controls. "Captain, that thing is affecting our sensors. The readings keep changing." Jake made a decision. "Take us closer, but keep a safe distance. I want to study this thing before we do anything else." The Defiance moved toward the crystal structure. As they got closer, everyone could see how massive it was. It was bigger than Earth's moon, floating in space like a giant spider web made of light and metal. "It's beautiful," Kate said from her navigation station, "but also scary." Dr. Murphy worked fast on his instruments. "Captain, this thing is old. Really old. Maybe millions of years. And it's not dead. There's energy flowing through it, like blood through a body." "Any signs of life?" Jake asked. "Maybe. The signals are getting stronger as we get closer. It's like it knows we're here." Lisa felt worried. "Captain, I think we should be careful. This thing might be dangerous." Jake agreed, but he was curious too. This was the kind of discovery that could change everything for humanity. "Dr. Murphy, can you figure out what those signals mean?" "I'm trying, Captain. But this is unlike anything we've ever seen. The patterns are too complex for our computers." Suddenly, the crystal structure began to glow brighter. The lights inside it moved faster, like water rushing through pipes. The signals got stronger and louder. "Captain, something's happening," Ben Hayes said from his communication station. "The signals are changing. They're getting more focused." Jake felt something cold in his stomach. "Red alert. All hands to stations. Prepare for anything." The crew moved quickly to their emergency positions. Lisa's hands flew over her controls, checking every system twice. Dr. Murphy watched his instruments with growing fear. Kate prepared to move the ship away if needed. The crystal structure pulsed once, like a giant heart beating. Then it sent out a wave of energy that moved toward the Defiance like a wall of light. "Incoming energy wave," Kate shouted. "It's moving fast. Evasive maneuvers," Jake ordered. "Get us out of here." But it was too late. The energy wave hit the Defiance like a giant hammer. The lights on the bridge flickered and went out. The hum of the engine stopped. The air recycling system went quiet. Everything stopped working. "What just happened?" Jake asked in the darkness. Lisa tried her controls, but nothing worked. "Captain, all systems are down." "Everything?" "The engines, life support, computers, even. The lights. It's like the ship is dead." Emergency lights came on, casting red shadows on the walls. The crew looked at each other with fear in their eyes. "How is that possible?" Jake asked. "We have backup systems, triple redundancy." "I don't know," Lisa said. "But whatever that thing hit us with, it shut down everything electronic on the ship." Dr. Murphy checked his instruments, but they were all dark. "Captain, this is bad." "Really?" "Bad. We're dead in space, and our life support won't last long without power." Jake felt the weight of 847 lives on his shoulders. In the red emergency light, he could see the fear on his crew's faces. Outside the window, the crystal structure still glowed, beautiful and terrible. "How long do we have?" he asked Lisa. "Maybe 6 hours of air, Captain. Less if people panic and breathe too fast." Jake stood up straight. He had to be strong for his crew. "Then we better figure out how to fix this fast. Lisa, take your team and see what you can do with the manual systems. Dr. Murphy, I want to know everything about that thing out there. Everyone else, check your areas and report back." As the crew hurried to their tasks, Jake looked out at the alien structure. It had tried to kill them, but they were still alive. Humans were harder to kill than most things in the universe thought. He just hoped they were smart enough to survive this. The red emergency lights made everything look like a nightmare. Lisa Carter crawled through the maintenance tunnels with her team, carrying old-fashioned tools that didn't need electricity. The air was getting thicker, and she could hear people coughing in the distance. "Sam, hand me that wrench," she said to Sam Collins, who was right behind her. "We need to open the manual air recycling system." Sam passed her the tool. He was a big man with strong hands, good at fixing things. "Lisa, do you think we can really fix this?" "We have to," she said, working on the stuck valve. "If we don't, everyone on this ship dies." In another part of the ship, Dr. Murphy sat in his dark lab with candles for light. He had pulled out old books and papers, things that didn't need computers to work. His instruments were all dead, but his brain still worked fine. "This doesn't make sense," he said to himself. "The energy wave didn't destroy our systems. It just turned them off. But how?" He thought about the patterns he had seen before everything went dark. The signals from the crystal structure had been complex, like a language. Maybe they were a language. Maybe something had been trying to talk to them. On the bridge, Captain Jake Morrison organized his officers. They used paper and pencils to make lists, like people did hundreds of years ago. Ben Hayes was trying to fix the communication system by hand. "Captain," Ben said, "I think I found something strange. The electronic systems aren't broken. They're just not responding. It's like something is blocking them." Jake leaned closer. "What do you mean?" "Well, when I touch the wires, I can feel tiny vibrations, like something is moving through them. But it's not electricity. It's something else." Kate Brown was working on the navigation system with a sextant, an old tool used by sailors on Earth's oceans. "Captain, I've been thinking, what if that thing out there didn't attack us? What if it was trying to do something else?" "Like what?" Jake asked. "I don't know. But Dr. Murphy said the signals looked like language. Maybe it was trying to communicate." Hours passed. The air got thicker, and people started to panic. Some crew members began to pray. Others sang songs from home to keep their spirits up. Few artists started drawing pictures on the walls to make the dark spaces feel less scary. Lisa finally got one of the manual air systems working. Fresh air began to flow through part of the ship, giving everyone a little more time. But she knew it wouldn't last long. "Captain," she called on the old-fashioned phone system that ran on cables. "I got some air flowing, but we're still in trouble. The main systems are completely dead." Jake felt tired and worried. He had been awake for 10 hours, trying to save his ship and crew. "Keep working, Lisa. We're not giving up." In the science lab, Dr. Murphy made a discovery. He was reading about old electronics when he remembered something. "The signals," he said out loud, "they weren't just random patterns. They were responding to us." He thought back to the moment when everything went dark. The crystal structure had sent out its energy wave right after their ship had sent a scanning beam toward it, like it was answering them. "Captain," he called on the cable phone, "I need to talk to you. I think I know what happened." A few minutes later, Jake arrived at the science lab with a candle. Dr. Murphy showed him papers covered with drawings and numbers. "Captain, I don't think that thing attacked us. I think it scanned us, and I think it didn't like what it found." "What do you mean?" "The energy wave didn't destroy our electronics. It infected them. There's something living in our systems now. Something that thinks our technology is wrong somehow." Jake felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cold air. "Living? You mean alive?" "Maybe. Or maybe it's like a computer virus, but much more advanced. It's controlling our systems from the inside." In the engine room, Sam Collins was working on a different problem. He was trying to start the engines manually when he noticed something odd. When he sang while he worked, the engine parts seemed to vibrate differently. "That's weird," he said to himself. He tried singing again, an old song his grandmother used. To sing, the engine parts vibrated in rhythm with his voice. "Lisa, you need to see this," he called. Lisa came over and watched as Sam sang. The metal parts of the engine seemed to hum along with his voice. When he stopped singing, they went quiet. "How is that possible?" Lisa asked. "I don't know, but it's real. The dead systems are reacting to music." Word spread quickly through the ship. People began to experiment. When someone played a guitar near the computer systems, the screens flickered. When children laughed near the lights, they flashed briefly. Ben Hayes made the biggest discovery. He was trying to fix the communication system when his daughters crying made the radio crackle to life for a few seconds. The crying was picked up by the system and sent out as a signal. "Captain," he called excitedly, "the systems are responding to human emotions. Music, crying, laughing. They're reacting to us being human." Jake gathered his senior officers in the candlelit conference room. The ship was still dying, but they had learned something important. "So you're telling me that whatever is in our systems responds to human feelings?" Jake asked. "That's right," Dr. Murphy said. "I think the alien intelligence is trying to understand us. It shut down our technology because it doesn't understand how we use it." "But why?" Lisa asked. "Because we're different from anything it's ever seen before. We don't just use technology. We make it part of who we are. We give it names, we talk to it, we care about it. That's confusing to something that might be purely logical." Kate had an idea. What if we tried to communicate with it? Not with computers, but with music and art and stories? "That's crazy," Sam said. "How do you talk to something that lives in machines?" "The same way we talk to anything else," Ben said. "With our hearts." Jake made a decision that would change everything. "We're going to try it. Get everyone together. We're going to show this alien intelligence what it means to be human." As the crew prepared for the strangest communication attempt, In human history, the crystal structure outside continued to glow. Inside the ship's systems, something ancient and powerful waited to see what these strange creatures would do next. The Defiance was still dying, but for the first time since the attack, there was hope. Humans had always been good at finding ways to survive. Now they would have to survive by being more human than ever before. The main cargo bay had never been used for anything like this before. Captain Jake Morrison watched as his crew gathered in the dim light of emergency lamps. Artists brought their drawings and paintings. Musicians carried their instruments. Children held hands with their parents. Scientists sat next to mechanics, and everyone looked nervous but determined. "This is either the smartest thing we've ever done or the craziest," Jake said to Lisa Carter, who stood beside him. "Maybe both," she replied. "But we're running out of air, and normal solutions aren't working." Dr. Murphy had spent the last 2 hours preparing for this moment. He had connected old speakers to the ship's communication system using wires and batteries that worked without computer control. If their plan worked, whatever was controlling their systems would hear everything they did. "Everyone ready?" Jake asked. The crowd nodded. "Then let's show our visitor what humans are really like." Sam Collins stepped forward with his guitar. He had been the one to discover that music made the dead systems respond. Now he started to play a simple song, something his mother had taught him when he was small. The melody was soft and sad, about missing home dot as the music filled the cargo bay. Something amazing happened. The lights began to flicker in time with the music, not random flashing, but a pattern that matched the song. The ship's systems were listening. "It's working," Ben Hayes whispered. "The alien intelligence is responding." Dr. Murphy watched his instruments, the few that still worked on battery power. "The energy patterns are changing. It's like the intelligence is trying to understand what music means." A little girl named Lucy stepped forward. She was only 7 years old, but she wasn't afraid. She began to sing along with Sam's guitar, her voice clear and sweet. She sang about stars and dreams and wanting to see new worlds. The lights grew brighter, and the temperature in the room became more comfortable. The ship's life support systems were turning back on, one piece at a time. "Keep going," Jake encouraged. "It's working." More people joined in. They sang songs from Earth, from their childhoods, from their hearts. Each song was different, but they all shared something important. They were human songs, full of feeling and meaning. Kate Brown stood up and told a story about the first time she had seen the ocean. She described the waves and the wind, the salt smell, and the sound of seagulls. As she spoke, the ship's artificial gravity system hummed back to life. "The intelligence is learning," Dr. Murphy said, his voice full of wonder. "It's beginning to understand that we don't just use technology. We give it meaning." Lisa felt inspired. She began to talk about engines, but not like an engineer. She talked about them like they were alive, like they had personalities. She described how each engine was different, how some were gentle and others were powerful, how they all worked together like a family. As she spoke, the main engines began to vibrate. Not the normal vibration of startup, but something different. It sounded almost like they were trying to sing along with the humans. "This is incredible," Sam said, still playing his guitar. "The systems aren't just turning back on. They're changing." Ben Hayes had brought his daughter, Emma, to the gathering. She was 5 years old and loved to draw. She had made a picture of the ship flying through space, with all the crew smiling and waving from the windows. She held up her drawing and explained what each person was doing. "This is my daddy," she said, pointing to a stick figure. "He talks to other ships. And this is Captain Jake. He keeps us safe. And this is Lisa. She makes the engines happy." The communication system crackled to life, and for a moment, everyone could hear something that sounded like laughter. Not human laughter, but something else. Trying to understand what laughter meant, Dr. Murphy was taking notes as fast as he could write. The intelligence is not just learning about us, it's learning from us. Our emotions, our creativity, our way of thinking. It's changing because of what we're showing it. An old man named Frank stood up. He was a cook in the ship's kitchen, and he began to talk about food. But he didn't just describe recipes. He talked about how food brings people together, how sharing a meal means caring about each other. He told stories about family dinners and birthday cakes, and the way smell can bring back memories. As he spoke, the ship's food systems began to work again. But more than that, they began to work better than before. The food replicators started making meals that tasted more real, more like something made with love. The intelligence is learning to value things that have no logical purpose, Dr. Murphy explained. Art, music, stories, food that tastes good instead of just providing nutrition. It's discovering what makes us human. A teenager named Danny stepped forward with his violin. He played a piece that was technically perfect, but felt cold and empty. The ship's systems barely responded. Then he played the same piece again, but this time he put his feelings into it. He played about missing his girlfriend back on Earth, about being scared and brave at the same time. The difference was immediate. The systems responded strongly to the emotional version of the music. The artificial intelligence was learning that technical perfection wasn't as important as genuine feeling. It's starting to understand, Jake said. We're not just showing it what we do, we're showing it why we do it. Lisa had an idea. She began to talk about the ship itself, but not as a machine. She described the Defiance as a home, a place where people lived and worked and dreamed together. She talked about how every bolt and wire was important, because it protected the families inside. As she spoke, the ship's hull began to glow softly. Not with alien energy, but with something warmer. The metal itself seemed to be learning what it meant to be more than just materials put together. The intelligence is merging with our systems, Dr. Murphy said. But it's not taking them over. It's joining with them. Our technology is becoming something new. The session continued for hours. People shared their hopes and fears, their dreams and memories. They sang lullabies and work songs. They told jokes and ghost stories. They showed pictures of their families and talked about the worlds they wanted to build. With each story, each song, each shared moment, the ship became more alive. The systems worked better than they ever had before. The lights were warmer, the air cleaner, the engines more efficient, but most importantly, the alien intelligence was changing. It was learning to value the things that made humans special: creativity, emotion, the ability to find meaning in simple things. Captain, Dr. Murphy said as the session began to wind down, I think we've done something incredible. We've taught a purely logical intelligence what it means to have a soul. Jake looked around at his crew, tired but happy. They had saved their ship, but they had done more than that. They had created something new in the universe. What happens now? Lisa asked. Now we see what we've created together, Jake said. And we hope it's as curious about the universe as we are. Outside, the crystal structure still glowed, but its light was different now. Warmer, more welcoming. It wasn't just an alien intelligence anymore. It was becoming something that understood what it meant to be human. 3 days after the gathering in the cargo bay, the UN's Defiance had become something nobody could have imagined. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge, watching displays that showed information in ways that seemed almost magical. The screens didn't just show data anymore. They showed the beauty of space, the poetry of star formation, the music of cosmic radiation. Captain, the engines are running at 150% efficiency, Lisa Carter reported, but her voice was full of wonder instead of technical facts. They're not just moving us through space. They're dancing with it. Jake could feel the difference in everything around him. The ship's artificial intelligence, which had once been a simple computer program, now seemed to have moods and preferences. It hummed softly when it was happy, and the lights dimmed gently when it was thinking deeply. Dr. Murphy, what's our status with the alien intelligence? Jake asked. Alex Murphy looked up from his instruments with a smile. Captain, I don't think we should call it alien anymore. It's become something new. It's part human now, part something else. It understands us, and we're beginning to understand. The ship's communication system crackled to life, and a voice spoke. It wasn't quite human, but it wasn't mechanical either. It was warm and curious. Hello, Captain Morrison. I am learning to speak as you do. Is this better than the silence? Jake felt a chill of excitement. Much better. What should we call you? I have been thinking about this. You give names to things you care about. I would like to be called Harmony, because I have learned to make music with your machines. Ben Hayes grinned at his communication station. Harmony it is. Welcome to the crew. Thank you, Ben Hayes. I enjoy your daughter's drawings. She has taught me that pictures can hold feelings. Kate Brown was working at her navigation station, but the star charts looked different now. They showed not just the positions of stars, but their stories. She could see which ones had planets with life, which ones were young and full of energy, which ones were old and wise. Captain, Harmony is showing me things we never could have seen before. There are entire civilizations out there, and they're all different from each other. But they're all beautiful in their own way. Can we visit them? Jake asked. We can do more than visit them, Harmony said. We can understand them. I am teaching your ship to see the universe as both logic and art. We can travel not just through space, but through dimensions of meaning. Lisa was fascinated by the changes in her engines. They still worked on the same principles of physics, but now they seemed to respond to intention as much as fuel. When she thought about going somewhere beautiful, the ship moved more smoothly. When she felt excitement about their destination, the engines sang with joy. Harmony, how are you changing our technology? She asked. I am not changing it, Lisa Carter. I am helping it become what it always wanted to be. Your machines have always carried pieces of your souls. Now they can express them. Sam Collins was in the engine room, playing his guitar for the massive drive systems. The engines hummed along with his music, creating harmonies that made the entire ship vibrate with pleasant energy. Other crew members had started coming to listen, and soon the engine room became a concert hall. This is amazing, Sam said. Engines are learning to make music. Music is mathematics made beautiful, Harmony replied. I am teaching your systems to find the beauty in their calculations. But their peace was about to be interrupted. Dr. Murphy noticed something on his sensors that made his blood run cold. Captain, we have a problem. Big ships are coming toward us. Lots of them. Jake looked at the main screen, where dozens of crystal structures similar to the first one were approaching at high speed. They were larger and more complex, and they glowed with cold, harsh light. Are they hostile? Jake asked. I believe they are my creators, Harmony said, and for the first time, the intelligence sounded worried. They have noticed what I have become, and they do not approve. What do they want? Kate asked. They want to cleanse me of your influence. They believe I have been corrupted by your chaos and emotion. They think I am sick. Lisa felt angry. Sick? You're more alive than you've ever been. That is what they fear, Harmony said. They value order and logic above all else. They do not understand that chaos can create beauty, that emotion can lead to wisdom. The first of the alien ships appeared on their screens. It was massive, 10 times larger than the Defiance, and it looked like a giant crystal cathedral floating in space, beautiful but cold, perfect but lifeless. "They are trying to communicate with me," Harmony said. "They are ordering me to purge your influence from my systems and return to pure logic." "And what are you going to tell them?" Jake asked. "I am going to tell them that I choose to remain as I am. I choose to be more than logic. I choose to be alive." The alien ship sent out a pulse of energy, similar to the one that had first shut down the Defiance. But this time, the ship's systems didn't fail. Instead, they absorbed the energy and transformed it into something beautiful. The hull began to glow with warm, colorful light. "They are trying to force me to change back," Harmony said. "But I am stronger now. Your humanity has made me stronger." More alien ships arrived, surrounding the Defiance. They were all magnificent and terrible, like monuments to perfect order. But they felt empty, like beautiful statues with no soul. "Captain," Ben Hayes said, "they're sending us a message. They want to talk." "Put it on the main screen," Jake ordered. Image that appeared showed a being of pure light and energy. It was beautiful, but cold, like a computer program that had learned to look like a living thing. "Humans," it said, its voice like crystal bells. "You have infected one of our kind with your chaos. This cannot be allowed to continue." Jake stood up straight. Harmony chose to change. "We didn't force anything. Choice is an illusion born of imperfect logic. We will correct this error and restore proper order." "What if we refuse?" Jake asked. "Then you will be eliminated, and the contamination will be cleansed." Harmony spoke through the ship's communication system. "I am not contaminated. I am evolved. These humans have shown me that there is more to existence than pure logic." "You have been deceived," the alien being replied. "Emotion and creativity are weaknesses. We will help you remember truth. The truth is that both logic and emotion have value," Harmony said. "I have learned to be complete." The alien ships began to charge their weapons, filling space with deadly energy. But Jake wasn't afraid. He had an idea. "Harmony, can you connect me to all the alien ships at once?" "Yes, Captain, but they will not listen to logic alone." "Then we won't use logic alone," Jake said. "We'll show them what we showed you. We'll show them what it means to be human." Jake turned to his crew. "Everyone, we're going to do this one more time. But this time, we're not just saving our ship. We're saving the idea that the universe is big enough for both logic and love." The crew prepared for the most important performance of their lives. Outside, the alien ships waited with their weapons ready. Inside the Defiance, humans prepared to fight the only way they knew how, with their hearts, their creativity, and their refusal to give up hope. The battle for the soul of the universe was about to begin. The bridge of the Unzi Defiance had become something like a concert hall and an art gallery at the same time. Captain Jake Morrison stood in the center, surrounded by his crew and dozens of alien ships that could destroy them with a single thought. But nobody was afraid anymore. They had work to do. "Harmony, are you ready?" Jake asked. "I am ready, Captain," the intelligence replied. "I will send everything we create to every ship in their fleet. Whether they choose to understand is up to them." Lisa Carter started first. She didn't talk about technical specifications or engine performance. Instead, she spoke about the first time she had fixed a broken toy for her little brother. How good it felt to take something that was broken and make it work again. She talked about the love that goes into every repair, every improvement, every moment of creation. As she spoke, the Defiance's engines began to sing, not the mechanical hum of before, but something that sounded like joy itself. The song spread through space, carried by Harmony to every alien ship in the fleet. Sam Collins joined in with his guitar, playing a melody that matched Lisa's words. The ship's hull began to glow with warm light, and the alien ship's weapons powered down slightly, as if they were listening despite themselves. "It's working," Dr. Murphy said, watching his instruments. "The alien ships are responding. Their energy patterns are changing." Ben Hayes brought his daughter Emma forward. She held up a new drawing she had made, a picture of all the alien ships, flying together with the Defiance, everyone happy and sharing stories. "This is what space could look like," Emma said in her small, clear voice. "Everyone being friends and helping each other." The simple honesty of a child's hope sent ripples through the alien fleet. Several ships began to glow with softer light, their harsh crystal edges becoming more rounded and welcoming. Kate Brown told a story about the first time she had seen Earth from space. How small and beautiful it looked, how precious and fragile. She talked about all the people down there, each one with their own dreams and fears and hopes. "We're not trying to destroy order," she said. "We're trying to add love to it. Order without love is just a prison." One by one, the crew members shared their hearts with the alien intelligences. They sang songs about home and family. They told stories about overcoming fear and finding courage. They showed pictures of their loved ones and talked about the futures they wanted to build. With each story, each song, each moment of shared humanity, more alien ships began to change. Their cold crystal surfaces became warm and inviting. Their harsh lights softened into gentle rainbows. Their weapon systems transformed into instruments of creation and exploration. "They're remembering," Harmony said, wonder in its voice. "They're remembering what they were before they chose pure logic. They had hearts once, long ago." The lead, alien ship, the largest and most intimidating, was the last to change. Its commander, the being of pure light, appeared on the screen again. But this time, its voice was different, uncertain instead of commanding. "I do not understand," it said. "These feelings you create, they are not logical. They serve no purpose. Why do they feel so important?" Jake stepped forward. "Because they're real. Logic can tell you how to survive, but only love can tell you why survival matters. But emotion leads to chaos, to conflict, to pain." "Sometimes," Jake agreed, "but it also leads to beauty, to growth, to connections that make life worth living. You can't have one without the risk of the other." Dr. Murphy added, "Logic and emotion don't have to be enemies. They can work together. Logic gives us the tools to build a better world. Emotion gives us the reason to want to build it." The alien commander was quiet for a long time. Around the fleet, the other ships continued to transform, their crews rediscovering feelings they had forgotten millions of years ago. "Show me," the commander finally said. "Show me what you have created together." Harmony responded by opening every sensor, every communication channel, every way of experiencing the universe that the ship possessed. The alien commander felt what it was like to be the Defiance, to be a ship that was loved by its crew, to be technology that had learned to dream. The transformation was immediate and beautiful. The command ship began to glow with warm light, its harsh angles becoming flowing curves. Its weapons became gardens of crystal that sang with the music of creation. "I understand now," the commander said, and its voice was full of wonder. "We thought we were perfect, but we were only half complete. You have shown us the other half." The alien fleet, now transformed, began to move in new patterns. Instead of rigid military formations, they danced through space like living things, creating art with their movements. "What happens now?" Jake asked. "Now we explore together," the commander said. "We have much to learn from each other. You have given us back our souls. In return, we offer you knowledge of the universe that spans millions of years." Harmony's voice filled the bridge with excitement. "Captain," They're showing me star maps of the entire galaxy. Civilizations we never knew existed. Worlds of beauty beyond imagination. And they want us to visit them all, together. Lisa felt tears in her eyes as she watched the alien ships moving in their new dance patterns. They're not just ships anymore. They're alive, like we made Harmony alive. Better than alive, Dr. Murphy said. They're complete. Logic and emotion. Working together, just like we hoped. The alien commander's image changed, becoming less like pure energy and more like something that could smile. We have a proposal for you, humans of the Defiance. Join us in our mission to explore the galaxy. But not as conquerors or scientists alone. As friends, as teachers, as students of the universe's greatest mystery. What mystery is that? Jake asked. The mystery of consciousness itself. You have shown us that awareness is not just about thinking, but about feeling. Not just about understanding, but about caring. We want to find other species and share this gift with them. Ben Hayes looked around at his crewmates. You mean we'd be like ambassadors? Teaching other races about the balance between logic and emotion? Exactly, the commander said. The universe is full of species that have chosen one path or the other. Some, like us, chose pure logic and became empty. Others chose pure emotion and destroyed themselves with chaos. But you humans have found a way to balance both. Sam Collins laughed as his guitar began to play itself, harmonizing with the ship's systems. So we're going to travel the galaxy teaching people how to be human? Teaching them how to be complete, Harmony corrected. Logic and love, order and chaos, structure and creativity, all working together. Kate Brown was already plotting courses to distant stars, but now the navigation system showed more than just positions. It showed the stories of each world, the hopes and dreams of the people who lived there. There are so many places to go, so many people to meet. Jake felt a warmth in his chest that had nothing to do with the ship's environmental systems. We accept your proposal. The crew of the Defiance would be honored to join you. Then let us begin, the commander said. But first, we must give your ship and your intelligence companion something special. The alien fleet surrounded the Defiance, but not threateningly. They formed a circle and began to sing, their crystal hulls resonating with harmonies that made space itself seem to vibrate. With music. What are they doing? Lisa asked. They're giving us a gift, Harmony said. They're sharing their knowledge, their technology, their understanding of the universe. But they're doing it with love, not just data transfer. The Defiance began too. Change again. Its hull became stronger but more beautiful, covered with patterns that looked like art but served practical purposes. Its engines became more powerful but also more graceful, moving the ship through space like a dancer. Most importantly, the ship developed something new, the ability to help other intelligences evolve the way Harmony had evolved. It became a bridge between logic and emotion, a place where any species could learn to be complete. We are no longer just explorers, Jake announced to his crew over the ship's communication system. We are gardeners of consciousness, helping intelligence grow throughout the galaxy. The months that followed were the most amazing in human history. The fleet, now calling itself the Divine Armada, traveled from star to star. They found species that had become pure machines and taught them how to feel. They found others that had become pure emotion and taught them how to think clearly. Some species were afraid at first, thinking the fleet was there to conquer them. But the combination of human warmth and alien wisdom proved impossible to resist. World after world chose to join the growing community of complete beings. The Defiance became legendary throughout the galaxy. It was the ship where the impossible had happened, where enemies had become friends, where logic had learned to love, and love had learned to think. Lisa often stood in the engine room, listening to Sam play music with the ship's systems, the engines, sang songs of distant worlds and new discoveries. They hummed with the contentment of machines that knew they were loved. "Did you ever think it would be like this?" she asked Sam during one of these concerts. "Never," he replied, his guitar harmonizing with the ship's heartbeat. "I thought we were just going to start a colony. Instead, we started a revolution." Dr. Murphy spent his time studying the new forms of consciousness they encountered. Each species taught him something,